All right, let's jump right in. We're going to ask what seems like a really simple question, something we all think we have an answer for. What is school for? I mean, really, what is its purpose? It feels obvious, right? But today, we're taking a trip around the world to see just how radically different and sometimes shocking the answers to that one question can be. Just let that sink in for a moment. A knife that cuts a child away from his soul. For this parent, school is an opportunity. It's not a ladder. It's a weapon. Wow. With just one sentence, you can feel the stakes here. This shows us that the purpose of education, it's not some quiet academic debate. No, it's a battleground. A battle for values, for survival, and for identity itself. So that's really our central question today. What is the true purpose of education? Is it supposed to create loyal citizens? Is it a ruthless sorting machine to find the best and brightest? Or is it about giving everyone an equal shot? As you're about to see, there's no single right answer. It all depends on where you are, what your culture values, and honestly, the hand history has dealt you. Okay, so our first stop is Ghana. And here, the whole debate over school is so intense that it's like the country is running on two completely different clocks. You see, in Ghana, it's like two worlds are at war. Up in the rural north, everything is dictated by the calendar of sun and rain. It's about subsistence farming, the main goal, survival, right here, right now. But then you go to the urban south, and life runs on a totally different schedule, the calendar of the clock and the office. The economy is formal, it's about jobs, and the goal isn't just surviving today, it's about grabbing an opportunity for tomorrow. And these two completely different ways of life are locked in a struggle over the very idea of school. And listen to the logic from that northern perspective. For a farmer, sending a kid to school means you've quite literally lost a hand in the field. Right now, if you miss the two most important weeks for planting because your child is in a classroom, you could lose the entire harvest. The cost is immediate. You can't need a diploma. And from his point of view, his choice is completely rational. But then you hear from a father down in the capital, Accra, and the logic is completely flipped on its head. He says, look, I don't have cocoa farms or livestock to pass down. His kid's inheritance has to be portable. It's literacy, it's a transcript, a network. That piece of paper, for him, it's not just a certificate. He calls it the antidote to poverty. That's powerful. And look, this isn't just a philosophical disagreement. It has devastating real-world consequences. Check out the pass rates for the big high school entrance exam. In the city, Accra, 4 out of 5 kids pass. 4 out of 5. In the Northern District, it's just 1 out of 5. The system is clearly built to reward the city father's worldview. And it basically proves the northern farmer's point, that school isn't for him. Okay, now let's pivot from a story of survival to one of pure, cutthroat competition. We're going to look at China and Chile. Both are defined by this intense educational race, but one is run by the state and the other is driven by the free market. And in both places, the system creates ladders for a lucky few and giant walls for everyone else. So to understand the race in China, you have to know this one crucial term, hukou. It's basically an internal passport. It's a household registration system that ties you right to social services, and this is the key part, especially public schools, to your official hometown. It is the one rule that determines everything. And what does it take to win at this game? Well, get ready for this number. One father in Shanghai dropped almost $2 million on an apartment. Not for the square footage, not for the view, but simply because it was in the zone for a top-tier public school. His phrase for it is incredible. He calls it tuition prepaid through concrete. It is an all-out educational arms race, and the price of admission is just mind-blowing. But for every family that can afford to buy their way in, there are millions locked out. Just listen to this migrant worker. He literally helped build China's gleaming modern cities, but because of his hukou, his own daughter isn't allowed to go to school in the city he helped create. He says her ladder is missing rungs, and they're not just missing by accident. They've been deliberately removed by a piece of paper. All right, let's jump across the globe to Chile, where the sorting machine isn't the state, it's the market.
For decades, they've had this school choice system where government money follows the student. And what's the result? It split the entire country into three separate parallel worlds. You've got the elite bubble of expensive private schools, you've got the anxious middle, all scrambling for a spot in a decent voucher school, and then you have the abandoned public system, left with whoever's left. It's a society sorted by what you can afford. So, what does choice actually feel like on the ground for a middle-class parent? Well, it's a nerve-wracking gamble. Step one is what they call the ranking ritual. You're hunched over your computer, agonizing over school comparison lists. Then step two is the lottery. You literally just have to hope your kid's number gets picked for a good school. And hey, even if you get in, there are all these silent fees, these so-called voluntary contributions, the tutors you have to hire. The whole thing is just fueled by a constant, gnawing anxiety that you're going to fall behind. Okay. After all that anxiety in China and Chile, our next stop is going to feel like a whole different planet. We're going to a place with a completely different philosophy. Let's talk about Finland, where the system is built not on competition, not on stress, but almost entirely on one thing: trust. The whole Finnish philosophy can be summed up in one beautiful idea: raise the floor. Instead of trying to create a few elite schools at the top, they focus on making every single school great. Their goal is equity, not elitism. And how do they do it? Well, first, every single teacher has a master's degree. It's a highly respected profession. Second, there's just one comprehensive school for all kids until they're 16. No tracking, no private options. And on top of that, things like a hot lunch, healthcare, even transportation. It's all free for every student. The result? A system built on trusting the professionals, not on endless standardized tests. And I just love this metaphor from a Finnish mother. She said their education system is like a long wooden table that everyone sits at. Same lunch, same curriculum, same, as she puts it, unexamined trust. I mean, think about that image. No VIP section, no kids' table, just one long table where everyone is in it together. The whole system is seen as a shared, common good. So wow, we've gone from Ghana to China, from Chile to Finland. And that one simple question we started with, what is school for, clearly has a ton of different, competing answers. So let's try to pull it all together and put them side by side. This really boils it all down. Each system has its own core logic, its own main goal, and its own central tension for parents. So in Ghana, you've got this post-colonial split, which forces parents into that awful choice: schooling versus survival. Then in China, the logic is all about hierarchical meritocracy, finding the best. And the tension for parents is a constant fight for access versus the state's control. Over in Chile, it's capitalist competition. The goal is to improve schools through the market, but the tension is between a parent's personal autonomy and the system's massive inequality. And finally, Finland. The logic is democratic equality, providing a great education for everyone. But even there, there's a tension. How do you balance all that freedom with the risk of complacency? And this really gets us to the most important takeaway of all. There's no single best system here. The choice that farmer in northern Ghana makes is just as rational from his perspective as the choice the mother in Finland makes. Each one of these systems is a logical, rational response to that society's specific history, its economy, and its deepest values. The point isn't to pick a winner. It's to understand that every choice has real human consequences. And so that brings this whole journey right back home. To you. Your education system, wherever you are, was also designed to value something. So take a hard look around. Every school, every test, every lesson plan. What is it designed to do? Is it built for competition, for equality, maybe tradition, or control? Figuring that out is the first crucial step to really understanding the kind of world your schools are trying to create.